Owner of Brickhouse Succulents, and today Candace is here to teach us how to make corsages, boutonnieres, and bouquets for weddings using my succulents.
When you're looking at doing your bouquets or corsages or whatever, you just look at lots of different succulents, which Hannah has lots of varieties here. You can mix them with real flowers, which we'll show you in a little bit, but right now we want to show you how you take the cut succulents and prep them for use in your bouquets. So go ahead, Hannah, talk us through a few of the cleanups.
For all of the echeverias, for the most part, you'll have these bottom leaves that need to come off. And depending on how long you want the stem to be, or the rosette, how big you want the rosette, will determine how many leaves you take off.
So I started with a fairly big piece. I'm now down to that, which is about the size of a rose. So if you think of them as flowers, if you're used to doing arrangements with cut flowers, think about your finished cropping, or whatever you want to call it, as making it look as close to a flower as you can. Like this one, I'll take down a little further. What did you do on that one? Oh, okay, yeah.
This I took way down. It had started about this big and it came way down. It's still got a nice stem if you're going to use it in a bouquet. For corsages and boutonnieres, they can be a lot shorter than that. So it all depends on what its end purpose is.
Okay, so they're cleaned up as much as we need them to be cleaned up. And now we're going to look at wiring them to get them ready. So looking at the stem that was left here, I tried to leave, I don't know, anywhere half an inch to an inch of stem. And the one thing that you have to keep in mind is how many succulents you're putting into a bouquet and how heavy it might be for the bride or a bridal party to carry. So taking off as much of a thicker stem or extra leaves that you may not need will certainly help the bride or the bridal party in the end. So while you're doing that, Hannah, I'll start the process. This wire is, it's probably around a 16 gauge or heavy, so just cut it to the length, and then you're just going to stick it up into the echeveria. This one went a little further than I wanted. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to pull it out a tiny bit, and then you take a lighter gauge wire. This one is 24 gauge, and you bend the top so that there's no pokiness coming out, and you put that right against wherever your stem is, and then you just start winding, catching that. Can you see? You're catching the bend over that you made. Catch it a few times, and then you're just going to wind down the stem a ways. And I'll just cut this here. It's mostly just securing the extra wire that you have. So there's that. And then you take photo tape, whatever it is, whatever type you have, they're white, green, whatever, and give it a little bit of a stretch, because that's what gives it stickiness. And then you just start right about where you did your loop and you're starting. And I just went around that a few times just to give it a really good cover. And then come down the stem, and it doesn't have to be pretty because none of this is going to show, but it just secures the wire in and makes it so that they're not as slippery when you're putting it into your bouquet. And if you give it a twirl, just go all the way down. And I'm kind of stretching it as I'm pulling it so it doesn't look like it, but that's what is making it stick.